K-pop Demon Hunters is a strange piece of media. See these girls here?
For the fans!
Yeah, they are some of the biggest music sensations on the face of their earth, having some of the most intense schedules you could possibly imagine. They gotta write their music, learn their choreography, travel all over the world, keep themselves permanently looking their best whenever they leave the house, and they also have to carry an ancient burden of protecting the world from vile demons with spears, swords, small knives, and the power of song. Now, would you believe me if I said it's kinda awesome? Look, I'm not exactly someone who was looking forward to watching this movie. To be honest, I didn't even know it existed until I hopped onto Netflix to watch Witch Watch and was greeted with this. And I scrolled past onto Witch Watch, not giving it another second of my time. That is until a friend of mine in between League games went off like a firework about this new movie called K-pop Demon Hunters and how it has no right being as good as it is, and that she already watched it with another friend who isn't even into K-pop, and now even he is listening to the soundtrack days after the fact. Suffice to say, I was curious, so I thought, well, it is Pride Month and she is as gay as they come, the least I can do is watch your movie recommendation.
A demon boy band?
I know, right? I thought it sounded stupid too, but turns out, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Good movie. I had a really good time with it. I'll give a brief outline of the story for those who may be on the fence, but we aren't just gonna sit here and be one of those channels that makes a video about a thing, and then you listen to the video and it sounds suspiciously similar to the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. So you know how in Hannah Montana, Miley has to balance her double life as both everyday teen girl Miley Stewart and pop star sensation Hannah Montana? Yeah, well what if we swapped it around a little bit and we instead follow a group of girls who, instead of their pop star selves being the part of themselves they hide, they are actually front-facing K-pop sensations who actually have to hide the fact that they are all members of the Demon Slayer Corps. Alright, caught up? Good. Let's talk about... We're in a time of animation history where the Spider-Verse style has truly ingrained itself as a mainstay in the animation landscape, whether its effect be felt in a big way or a smaller one. But I also don't think this movie sacrifices its own distinct lack of style. This is very much felt in the facial animation to me. They let these girls look really silly and go full gremlin at some points, which definitely helps to ground them in the eyes of the viewer as more relatable human beings and not the distant, perfect personas they show on stage. During the musical numbers, they honestly just dive into full music video visuals, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I'm kinda just left wondering if the awesome visuals are actually happening. Like during one musical number, the whole street starts changing colors and glowing, but all the civilians are reacting like that's actually happening. Maybe this is a normal musical thing and I'm dumb for this, but that question was admittedly lingering at the back of my mind whenever they started busting it down crazy style. Reason number 2 of why you should watch the movie about K-pop is, unsurprisingly, the music. I mean, come on, you would hope so, right? Look, this may come as a shock to you all, but I'm in fact not a 15-year-old girl from Illinois, so I don't exactly have all that many K-pop songs in my playlist. Not because I have anything against it or anything like that, I've kinda just always been way more J-pop adjacent for obvious reasons. My primary exposure to K-pop has honestly been through the League of Legends group KDA, which I think has actually been an interesting lens to view the movie through, as there are for sure some comparisons to be drawn between the two. But I don't know if they're kinda similar because Demon Hunters took inspo from KDA specifically, or if they're both just good representations of K-pop, so they end up quite similar. Bit of a tangent, but you know, I thought it was interesting. So, the songs. I'll start by saying I enjoyed all of them. At no point during a musical moment was I kinda just waiting for it to end. Of the two groups that we hear, I'm for sure more of a Huntrix guy. It may be I just prefer a feminine vocal profile for this genre of music, but I've found myself enjoying their songs a lot more than the Saja Boys. If you're someone who actively dislikes K-pop, this might be a tough watch, but I would hope that the visuals could help ease the dissonance a bit. I would have to say my favorite track would be How It's Done, and that's probably because it sounded the most like a KDA song to me. The strongest part of this script to me is by far and away the interactions between the girls. They really do feel like some close-ass friends for most of the movie. However, there is one part where Mira and Zoe learn a dark secret of Rumi's, and instead of wanting to talk to their close friend of many years about this thing that she's clearly struggling with, they just pull their weapons on her like it's on sight. Girls, surely there's a conversation to be had here. No, let's just pull blades on her actually. On a thematic level, the movie touches on ideas like self-acceptance. Touch is truly being the apt word there. It's labeled a kids movie on Netflix, so I by no means expected a deep dive into the subject, but what we got was still appreciated. I think that's all I had to say, but I have a feeling I'm missing something. Okay, if you're a Koreaboo and really love K-pop or Korean culture or Faker, I think you'll get more out of this movie than most. I've been told that there are some references snuck in that those more ingrained in the space are more likely to pick up on, but that isn't to say there's no enjoyment to be had outside of that. That stuff is more so an egg wash on an already well-made pie. Yeah man, good fun animated feature film, I'll never say no. Sony Animation has really been making a name for themselves in the past few years, and let's just say, we've been noticing. I would for sure be interested in more from this universe, but if this was a one and done, I wouldn't mind that either. Okay, thank you to everyone for sticking with me this long, interaction means a ton, and I hope to see you again.